You're listening to RUP, the Welsh Women's Rugby Appreciation Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Women's Rugby Treehouse. It's another girl power panel this week, just in time for all our respective nations to be respecting women, but only some and only kinda. I'm your host, Julia, and with me are my co-hosts, Sian and Hattie. What's up, Sian and Hattie?
Hey.
How's everyone doing this evening?
Not too bad. Bit of
Excellent.
a lost voice. It's kind of lower a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. We won't tax you too hard. We just have, a ton of news.
We'll just yap around you.
We'll yap around it. We always make it work. Women always be chatting.
Fine.
Yeah.
So gobby. Oh, I've heard recently we're very gobby.
Yeah.
With that, it's week 4 of the Women's Six Nations, and the road to Rugby World Cup 2025 is getting more exciting with each passing week. We've got a ton to cover, so let's start off with our reviews of the last match week. Week 3 of Women's Six Nations saw France take on Wales. The score ended up being 42-12 there. Ireland faced England. Score ended up being 5-49. And Scotland versus Italy ended up 17-25. Some may say shockingly. So first up, let's take a look at France versus Wales. This happens to be the one that we know the best. So let's start off with initial thoughts. What do we think?
Wow.
we all hesitate.
Well, I think that first half was one of the better halves that Wales have had in a very long time. I think in our chat group, someone said, it might have been Hugh, but someone said, oh, that's what our best Wales 40 minutes for a couple of years. And that kind of felt about right, didn't it, really? I think. I do think I wish we hadn't conceded that try just before half time, because I think we could have been going in, was it 14-12? And I'm not saying we would have won, but I don't know, the game would have been so much nicely more balanced. And it really would have been a great half for Wales if we'd gone in then. But yeah, I thought it was a very positive half. I do think the attack looked a bit more. There looked like there was more emphasis in the attack. It looked like they had a bit more energy.
Which absolutely corresponds to what they were talking about during the week, both in socials and what various coaches were saying, in terms of what especially Linny was looking for in terms of improvement on especially the attack is. Well, I mean, this pod has hammered them a million times as well. Attack has often been the weak point. And I mean, when you're playing France, you can only defend so well anyway. So I think it makes sense if we want to focus on the positives, and there were positives, is I feel the top line thing about that, the top line item about Wales' performance against France was it could have, and I think some people who perhaps doubt the Wales improvement could have seen it going much worse. I was quite happy with the first half, and we're going to go to Hattie, but as Hattie likes to say, and I have taken from her, France is a team of two halves, and I think we have some French to discuss as well in terms of the concerns that we discussed last week, versus what we end up seeing. And so,
yeah, I think for me it was a really promising game from Wales. I don't think that it was a fair scoreline. Like I kind of went through the stats earlier on today, and even looking at the stats, you're like, I don't quite understand how the scoreline ended up being the scoreline. And it was a bit of an odd game in terms of how the scoreline ended up being the scoreline. Like Wales had a try chalked off. France ended up with a penalty try that I don't think should have been a penalty try. Situations like that.
France lovers will hate us to say that, but unfortunately, I just agree. I don't was a penalty try,
but ignoring that, I think there were some positives in that. Georgia Evans ended up getting, she ended up equaling the record for most tackles without missing a tackle in a game, which
I was going to say another of her own records that she ended up tackling,
which is insane. Kate Williams had another cracking game. She's now our top try scorer in the competition with 2. so far.
Which usually which usually you wouldn't celebrate, but you absolutely want to for this Wales side.
But
And
two
also,
tries in 3 games,
yeah,
I will take.
absolutely. And Kate
Well,
Williams in general, like widely underrated as it is, so it's always worth pointing out.
Yeah, usually
Full
that's
stop.
only, Cecilia who's getting two tries in 3 games. So I'll take
They
it. And we did have a backs try. It was just chalked off, controversially.
I
promised.
I I am so I like I don't like bashing referees, but I was wild at that decision because if you look at the scoreline, when I rewatched the game, I'd forgotten that the scoreline would have been like 19-28, I think, if Kira
Mhm.
conversion, and she probably would have got the conversion because it was in her range.
It
It
was
was
quite.
feathering.
Again, I don't think we would have won. I'm not saying that it would have affected,
No.
but it's so frustrating because at 1928 we would have been I think we would have been really in the game, and it feels like the momentum completely swung after that moment. I think not that long after then, KP 10 went off for a HIA, and then it started to all go a little bit.
Oh, and can we say, by the way, I would love to do it because I know Hattie loves it when I do this. I would like to vindicate Hattie. What she said happened. What happened is exactly what happened. I wanted to make sure I nailed it because we can't. If anybody gets to gloat, I'm gonna do it for her.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, she went off with a HIA, and it happened. I
which
pointed
we
out
which we feared slash, just putting it into statistically, it could happen.
it could happen. She went off with a HIA, and yes, like KB went on at 10. She did a fine job.
Fine. Yeah.
It was fine.
For
If it
and
if
that's
it
like
hadn't have been France, if it had been Scotland, no offense,
no.
Scotland, if it had been Spain, if it had been Italy,
Yeah.
we might have been fine. It was France. It wasn't really
And they saw
fine.
it.
Like she's a 9, she's not a 10. And then when KP came back on, like the balance was just off and we never really got back in the game. And looking back on it, we really needed Robin Wilkins on the bench
Yep.
to cover,
As we feared.
yeah, to cover, she is a jack of all trades back.
And well, and also has the experience to be able to jump in and maintain the pace of the game. You mentioned that it felt unbalanced, and I agree. I think that's exactly what it was. And unfortunately, it was at the one number that Pauline Bourdon-Sissou can target and did, knows how to exploit that midfield area anyway. And it's not that KB can't do it, but it was definitely something that she wasn't expecting to have to do.
Yep.
You never do.
Ask.
Exactly.
It's a huge ask.
It's a lot to ask, and then it doesn't help that it's against France, who is very good at exploiting mistakes as it is. And in fact, when they went to the French players after, a lot of what they said was a lot of it, or Menifilo, when she was talking after for the win, she was saying a lot of it was just exploiting mistakes and knowing how to do that. And, we worried a bit about French back office stuff like preparation, like coaching. We can still wonder about that just because we still don't have confirmation, but you can absolutely say that they prepared for something to happen to KP. And
Yeah, it's a fair point.
And I think what it seems like to me is that they were more worried about something happening to Jazz Joyce because watching her on the weekend, like something we've kind of noticed over the last couple of games is that she's been coming off after 50, 60 minutes, which has seemed really odd. And at the weekend, her leg was really, really heavily strapped. They've had Nell Metcalf on the bench, who is a sort of out and out 15. She can
which we now
but she is
understand
a
why.
15. And that's why, like, they're concerned about Jazz not being able to play a full game rather than actually looking at what's best for the team. And what's best for the team would have been to have Robin Wilkins on the bench.
Right.
Jazz is not going to play a full 80, and that's what they're thinking of. And that's concerning to me.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say it makes you wonder what they're thinking about for Rugby World Cup, because I don't see a world in which, I mean, unless they have to, because she just can't. I don't see a world in which they don't take her and keep starting her. But what happens? Do we just keep reducing her numbers? Like, do we have to have another Jazz Joyce equivalent? Because if so, we don't currently have one healthy. or you have to bring Robin Wilkins back.
Yeah. And
Yeah. It's the 6-2 bench again, wasn't it?
Well, no, but we joke, but it's actually reasonable to bring that up, especially because that was the specific worry. It would be different if it was just, oh, a 6-2 bench and also something weird happened. No, the exact thing that you predicted happened. So the question now is, this is the Six Nations. It's important, absolutely. But what happens when this happens in the World Cup? What's the plan? Because by now, you would hope that the players that we're seeing coming through, even just at training, even if they don't end up on the bench, you would assume that this is the stable that they're looking at. We don't expect that they're going to start bringing in new names now.
Exactly. Well, we don't have many games, do we now? We've got the
right, and the question will be who comes to Australia. I wonder if they're going to pick anybody else from the Celtic Challenge that isn't already there, a Karis Hughes, a Kath Richards, somebody like that. Oh, I know. I can't see it either, but the question should be asked, I feel like, because if they're there and they're Welsh qualified.
I do think another big positive from Wales match against France was Courtney Keat. I thought a really good game in the centre.
Courtney Keat defenders have been vindicated.
Exactly. We've been shouting for her to start all tournament, but there were quite a few.
And it was
when France was so close to breaking through, and she was that last line of defense, managing just to snaffle the attack. That happened so many times. Yeah, I think she's a class act, and I still think it was a try.
Yeah, and we'll have to ask on the back of what we just discussed. We'll have to ask if Jazz can't go a full 80, and at this point, we're gonna have to it's not gonna get better if she keeps playing on it, and she's gonna keep playing on it. If that's not going to get better, and we are now shifting to a KP10 mindset, which I think we should, it is also true that KP is a very reliable 15. If we have taken her out of the equation, I feel like the only door left is Courtney Keat at 15 starting. I guess Jazz. But then we have a centers problem again. Feels like we can go around and around on that problem, and that's why I'm
going
saying
around in circles. Basically, I personally prefer Jazz on the wing anyway.
Right,
and I'd love Courtney to be on the fullback if
exactly.
Which I think KP10. I think that worked on Saturday.
And defensively, CK15 is great anyway, so I don't have a problem with that.
But yeah, we have a problem at centre.
Which, well, no, I mean, it's an uncomfortable question. I understand it's an uncomfortable question if you are a Wales fan. I floated this in a chat full of other rugby fans, another popular podcast that a lot of people listen to. They have a Discord. I floated it there about kind of what would you think about her not having the shirt anymore, and even like the diehard, like the men who also watch Wales women were just like, yeah, I mean, like if you have to take it from her, I guess take it from her. But she's not improving. I don't know what else, because it's not the coaching. It's not the coaching anymore. You kept the captain band. Like, what more do you need, or can you not perform? So
I still think we should also put Karis Cox in the centre.
Agreed. But even still, it absolutely. But even still, that leaves 13 a question mark.
Yeah,
no problem. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and in conclusion, just about France, just because we would want to wrap that topic up as well, just because we brought up some questions. Fans have certainly brought up questions. I would say the performance against Wales looked a little tighter. I think I don't know necessarily if it's week over week improvement. The lineup wasn't super changed.
They dropped this ball, didn't they? I felt that some of the handling was
they had 36 handling errors.
There you go.
That was what I wanted to.
Yeah, it was wet. We had 18, so like, but 36
still,
is absolutely
to have double the errors of Wales, and Wales. I will say as a fan,
really not
historically,
good.
I was gonna say historically we are a handling error team. No, we are. I mean, and that comes from
actually improved, but yeah,
yeah, it comes from a few different things, but. France, on the other hand, usually that's not an area of concern, and that was why I was curious what the panel thought, because I want to believe that I want to believe that I'm pretty good at noticing patterns, but I didn't understand that one. I understand it was wet, but they've all played in loads and loads of rain.
And
I don't
speaking
know.
of patterns, actually, spoke about it last week, is that there was a production drop off when Pauline Bourdon-Sansus went off, and it happened again this week.
did.
So they had their second half again was their best half, but they actually only really had like about like 26 minutes of production in that second half.
Yep.
So she came off after 66 minutes. They scored 2 tries after she went off. One was the penalty try, which was a minute after she went off, and the other was at 78 minutes, which was just like a driving try at the try line.
Both
Which
those
was just the forwards going for it when Wales had like absolutely just like lost the will to live, to be honest. Which so they literally did nothing for 11 minutes.
Right, which isn't necessarily characteristic of them either. But unfortunately just brings up more questions that apparently we're not going to get answers to, because I know we're not the only ones. There are also French language speaking podcasts that also can't get information out of this camp. We've got friends, we've been poking around. It's not a team that likes to run their mouths. The question hanging over the head of coaching, we know that the coaches don't love working together, but that's all we know. I think we'll get more answers perhaps when they play Italy next week. That's one that you would think will be super tight. And I feel like if we see tight, that will answer a question. And if we don't, it will also.
I'm kind of interested to see what would happen if they played a full game without Pauline Bourdon-Sansus, because I just think they would fall apart.
I agree.
And see, I do agree, but isn't that worrying? Anything can happen. She could stab herself peeling an avocado
I think
again.
they would score a couple of like quote unquote boring forwards tries.
Sure.
But I don't think they would actually be able to function as a squad.
So do we feel like there is a disconnect then between the forwards and the backs that can only be remedied by a really functional 9? Is that how we feel?
And I also think it's her leadership as well. Like,
sure,
I think she is. Do you remember that clip that we saw of her shouting at the team and like, I mean,
that amazing one.
Like she is such an inspirational player.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a huge key in their leadership. She's, the team. She's the glue, isn't she? Effectively. So
it's interesting that she's not the captain. We've seen this across a few teams, actually.
It is, yeah. But I to be fair, I thought she had quite quiet. I know she
for her,
but for her she had quite a quiet game. I thought KB pretty much stitched her up. She looked a bit more under pressure.
And she's so hard to stitch up that really
it just lid a couple of times as well.
Exactly, they were getting quite frustrated, and I am quite proud of how Wales did stand up to France. I think that they did. They pissed them off, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest. I expected this to go much worse for Wales.
I did too. I 100% did. But I think that we actually stood up to them and we'll be like, no, hang on. And I think like I said earlier, sorry to go on about it, if we'd not conceded that try just before half time, it's such a critical time. The 10 minutes before half time.
The tempo could have absolutely changed.
All about momentum. The crowd were getting a bit arsey. You know what the French crowds can be.
we know and love the French crowds. Please don't come for us.
And I just think that it would have been interesting to have gone into the open, the second half with the crowd getting a little bit funny, but we'll never know. It's all ifs and buts. But yeah, I think there were positives. But although I think the tackling for Wales still not good enough.
It's not where we want it to be.
Yeah.
We have a lot to cover. Let's push it along. We've got Ireland versus England next, which was another one that I think we've got a little bit to discuss about. A bit of a predictable scoreline in the end, but still a little bit positive for Ireland considering the same kind of battering they've gotten in the past. Again, the final score was Ireland 5, England 49. But of note, that 5 was held by very low, 0 and then very low for a much longer time than Ireland had done for a while, which is a bright spot. That said, it didn't persist. They also didn't have an amazing second half. I am curious what you guys thought of that performance.
Yeah, so it was actually 5-7 at half time.
There we go.
And then England just absolutely smashed it in the second half. 42
As
points in the
expected.
second half.
Mm.
Kept Ireland scoreless in the second half. Um, when I kind of had a little look earlier, both of them absolutely smashed it out of the park when it came to ruck speed.
Absolutely.
Both the teams, the ruck speed was
Bonkers.
yeah,
It was,
absolutely
but
insane compared
but
to
is
any other
really
team.
good news for Ireland because historically less of a strength that they've had there, and that just in my opinion it comes from the 9 shirt being developed. I don't feel like they have a KB or a Pauline Bordeaux-Sessou. I don't feel like they have somebody that you can rely on to pace the game like that. And in fact, we'll definitely be talking about that with
Their
Scotland. But
ranking in the Celtic Challenge has been really good. Like that was one
again,
that
we have to credit it. They're using it the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I actually have a bit of a controversial hot take for you all.
I love these.
So, I actually think that one of England's biggest problems in that, especially in the first half and for the beginning part of the second half, was that they were playing that game. They were meeting Ireland where Ireland were comfortable, which was playing at this like hyper fast speed.
Which is fantastic that you could push them to that.
Yeah. And Mo Hunt was meeting them at that level. Mo Hunt loves to play really, really quick. And this is what England love to do.
He's happy too. The rest of the team can't.
Yeah. Like Mo Hunt and Mo Hunt's version of England is to overwhelm people by playing quickly, and they will absolutely just kill
And they
people.
fall apart.
Yeah.
It works very well. I feel that that's Mo's number one way of unstitching. And we talked a lot about, like, when we were talking about Wales France, about how the 2 9s were playing against each other. I feel like that is for me, it's my number one thing that makes Mo so formidable. She plays at a blinding speed. I don't think there are many 9s that we can think of at all in the history of women's rugby who keep the pace like that. Sorry,
But
go on.
against Ireland, it just didn't work.
Because Ireland can meet them and kept pushing them back.
Yeah, and it just wasn't the right choice for that game. And so she actually ended up coming off. They'd scored 2 tries with her on the pitch. She ends up coming off. I think she came off like around like the 55 minutes, something like that mark.
Yeah, it was. I checked it.
Yeah.
Quite a surprise for her to come off, really.
Yeah.
Mo Hunt.
Lucy Packer came on. She scored, not scored, she slowed the ruck speed down a little bit and just controlled the tempo a lot more. 5 tries after Lucy Packer came on, and she just controlled the game a lot more. And I think
which you wouldn't expect, but it really worked. And it makes me wonder if that's why, because we'll talk about it when we go to the previews, but we are seeing a very different England lineup for against Scotland. We're going to talk about Scotland as its own team, but and when we were watching it all together, we wondered the same thing of like, should maybe Packer have started? I don't know, or was this just happenstance that it worked?
Yeah.
I wonder if Ireland had a game plan. Sorry to interrupt. I wonder if Ireland had a game plan, and it was all like they were so focused on, oh, they've got Mo Hunt, and they were so focused on that area that bringing Mo Hunt off, they kind of didn't really
just threw them into disarray because the plan was to face Mo Hunt.
Exactly.
But then the Irish head coach is the former England attack coach, so he's going to know Mo Hunt and like
that's actually a really good point.
And everybody, like, he's going to know them so well. So it's kind of a stitch up in some ways that, like, he's going to know them inside out, back to front.
It's incredibly smart, and especially considering the problems that, again, we're Wales fans, that Wales have had. We know that Ireland is really good at prep, and probably with that information in your back pocket, there's a lot you can do, even if you don't have the raw, what some people would call raw talent of the Red Roses, the raw preparation of the Red Roses. You can absolutely confound them.
What I would say about that, it works both ways.
Yeah.
And also they know the coach as well, so they know they potentially know what to expect as well.
Yeah.
So It can work both ways. But
But
yeah,
I think Ireland eventually just came undone with the fact that the depth of England
I
yeah,
was
was just going to
too
say
much for them.
the bench that came off
And it's
England
not
was a
just the
bunch of
depth
World
of
Cup
like the
players.
bench, it's the depth of knowledge. Like it was the set piece, and it was just like that set piece nose. Like that's where Ireland got undone. And like we spoke about it last week, where like Ireland have a lot of sevens players in their squad. They don't necessarily have like the 15s nose. And that's kind of where they lost out. Like it was their lineouts. Like their lineouts were really sloppy. They lost a lot
It
of
was set
lineouts.
pieces that we kept dinging.
Yeah. Like their line out jumping was really sloppy as well. Like, and the lifting was sloppy. I went and had to look earlier. Like, it just wasn't
Yes.
good.
And well, we could also wonder, I mean, we would go down another road if we went this way, but when we were chatting about it, trying to figure out how we felt about this, we did note that Tricky wasn't available. I feel personally as a line out person, I feel that her missing was felt. With her missing and also Sam Manan missing,
mm,
I think that there is a set piece dearth of knowledge.
mm. England,
Or
England do have a really good line out as well, don't they?
I mean,
And
yes.
So good.
in my
Zoe Oldcroft and
opinion,
Abby Ward. Come on.
they had their best line out jumper on the bench, who's Ruth Campbell.
Ruth Campbell. Yeah, Ruth Campbell and
She's young.
the argument would just be young, yeah.
Yeah, like Ruth Campbell is very young. She maybe doesn't have the experience, but she's their best line out jumper. Like she's an
Athletically speaking, she was what they needed.
yeah,
I
and
completely agree.
instead they had Dorothy Wharton, I believe it was Fiona too, both of whom are like converted back rows in the second row.
Yes.
And they just didn't quite have
Yeah, it didn't
they
quite
just didn't quite have the nose to
It
it.
didn't click.
It
It didn't
wasn't,
click.
yeah, it was just quite sloppy.
Mm.
So yeah, and they ended up conceding a yellow card from the scrum as well, which was well,
Oh,
Which
yeah,
is
that
really
was yellow as well. Yeah.
yeah, which was
who
really
kept on at the
frustrating
ref.
at the time. Exactly.
Mm.
It was one that I do feel like a little bit of maturity in, and I go back to this, a little bit of maturity in the set piece, a little bit of, and this could go to the conversation about the team leadership as well. I would like to say that like I've been a little bit wrong about Amy Lee Costigan, maybe not being the leader that they need. I feel like I've been a little bit wrong about that, but at the same time, certainly not a captain who necessarily knows when a set piece isn't working or knows how to express consternation to the ref about that, knows the right verbiage for it, knows the way to get in the ref's ear when you need to, the way that like a Mo Hunt would or a KB would. Yeah, we will see. I feel like we could start to pick that apart, but we should actually just wait for next week to do that, because when it's against England, like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, England just exploited it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Speaking of exploiting, actually, we will scoot right into one that it's going to be a hard conversation, but it's an interesting one. Our final match of last week was Scotland versus Italy, where Italy took the win 25-17.
Yeah, that
For
was a
me,
shock. That was a
for
shock.
me, this was a real shocking match. I think there are a lot of questions for Scotland. And Rachel Malcolm and Helen Nelson both, when they were commenting after the match, expressed the same thing. The phrasing that we heard was, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't good enough. And that's one way to put it. We friend of the pod, Leslie, we asked for her take to try to get our minds around what happened, because not to downplay Italy or anything, this was not what we expected. And I'm curious what you guys think first, and then we'll look at the elements of the team that may or may not be working.
Yeah, not to take anything away from Italy, I thought they deserved to win.
Absolutely.
They did put a better performance in from what we've seen, but on paper, Scotland, we'd expect them to win that game.
Should have taken this.
Yeah. I don't know. I to me, it reminded me a little bit of Wales last year, maybe.
That's what we were all thinking.
Kind of reminded me of the Ireland game last year, which I think we kind of expected everywhere. Well, Wales to do much better. And it felt like
Yeah.
Scotland maybe thought they were going to win and sort of took it, didn't really
Yeah.
prepare great. They didn't seem very well prepared to me. I don't know how everyone else felt.
No, and
It just felt off.
well, I completely agree. And what we took from our Scottish friends that we polled and that we were asking, what were your thoughts on this? They also brought up coaching and leadership. You never really expect to bring up the word leadership with Scotland. It's a weird place to be. It's a weird place to be. But when we say leadership, we mean more than just, and this also speaks to the notion of leadership in rugby. You can't just lay it on Rachel Malcolm's shoulders. Has to be kind of an everyone affair. We could argue that maybe there was lack of cohesion there. But there's a lot of question for the coaching. There's the same questions that I felt, you're absolutely right, that I felt for Wales, Ireland, that we later found out was they just didn't watch tape. Did you not watch tape? What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. I mean, that's down to management.
That's above the players. They can't decide that today we're watching tape. They can't decide today we're going to tell you like Italy can beat you. There's a chance that the coaches came into this saying like, we're going to prepare for this. Like we know it's a win. We're going to take it easy. Maybe they took it easy. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, it is frustrating because we all like Scotland.
Yeah.
Italy can be quite hard to break down, and we saw it in the WXV with Wales. We got dragged into this kind of like forward battle.
Yeah, it was a war of attrition at one point.
It was, yeah, and when they're in that mood, they are very hard to beat, and I think that it happened again with Scotland, I think.
One thing Italy is really good at is that when they have formed a crack in your game plan, they are really good at making it bigger.
Yeah.
They're really good at poking small holes and making them bigger. And that's how it felt as it went on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do have some their back three, and they've
Quite.
got,
I mean, Scorbini had another amazing game.
Their
and
back
Rugby
three-
had suddenly decided she was going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, Scorbini's been their absolute best player of the tournament so far. She's turned up every single game, but their back three had an absolute party. Every single one of them scored. Muzzo got 2 tries.
Muzzo had a phenomenal game. Absolutely player of the match easily for me.
Yeah.
Like by 50 minutes it felt right. Sorry.
But then Rugoni is one of those players you cannot discount her. You cannot go into a game thinking that you can't rule her out ever. Even if she's playing for Sale, who won 1 game this year,
You
because
can't
she
give her
could
an
pull out
inch.
some magic absolutely randomly on the 79th minute. Like they could literally be scoreless. She could be the only player on the pitch and she could still pull out magic. Like, do
That's
not
her whole
rule her
thing.
out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think it was last week we said that she hasn't been, for her standards, she's been quite
She
quiet.
hasn't been unlocked.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little bit anonymous, which is not like
She
her.
absolutely came alive in this
And
match.
it was as if she listened to the podcast and was like, right, I'm going to prove those.
She was like, all right.
I'm just
All right. She's like, I don't need to hear that from a Welsh fucking accent.
Yeah.
She just had the best game I've seen her play in
a while.
years. And when she's at her best is when she's such an odd player to watch, because it's when she's at her best, she's not playing a game plan.
No, she likes to make her own plays, but as many people have said before, as I think I've even heard Rachel Taylor saying before, is like when you let her do her freestyle thing, it works. It's true that like you don't get a lot of magical team tries. Okay, still gonna try. And
Like,
Beatrice Urgoni can do that.
She's
she makes shit
unplayable.
up, but like
She makes shit up. No, but that's exactly it. She makes
When
shit
she's
up.
in this mood, she's unplayable.
That's the thing, is when you're an artist, make shit up. Go.
she
Yeah.
reminds me of like really old school Finn Russell, where he used to just like fling the ball
Yeah.
across the pitch.
That's a
and,
pretty
like,
good comparison.
like completely mercurial, like probably
Yeah, it's
having
either
an
gonna
argument
hit.
with the coach outside. Like that's
I love it
what
when
it
she's
reminds
like
me
that.
of.
Love it.
Exactly. When it fails, you're asking, what are you thinking? But when it succeeds, you're like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, like that is what she reminds me of in
Absolutely.
the absolute best way possible. And I love her for it. And she was just having the best day. and she was just unlocking that back three like nobody's business. And it was
I think
phenomenal.
I think her game vision is such that she can see when, and if I'm going to keep going with my metaphor, I think she's somebody who can read the game such that she sees when a crack is about to form. And I think maybe that might have been what unlocked her.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bit of a crazy game, really. But I think, yeah, to go back to Scotland, I think they've got problems.
And I
What's
mean, they're heading up to the same World Cup we are, that all of us are, and we're gonna ease into the preview pretty soon, and we'll be talking about Scotland coming up against England, but Scotland has some of the same concerns we do, about depth. We've seen the Scotland team sheet for next week, and we now know that Rachel Malcolm is out for a concussion protocol. It's not Evie Wills who's also out for
Yeah, it is.
concussion. Oh, it is Evie Wills who's also out. Okay.
It's not
So
concussion. She's out with
it's
a ankle. And then
right. There are two that are on return to play protocols, and then
and then Katie Matt's
and
out with
Willis.
concussion.
No, Katie Matt is starting.
Is she?
Yeah. Leah Brebner Holden. There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Leah Brebner Holden and
It was a scrum half.
Rachel Malcolm are both. Yeah, exactly. They are
Same
both
difference.
out. They're both out in return to play. Alex Stewart is not on the team sheet. We aren't sure why for that one. And then Evie Wills is out for her ankle, not on the team sheet. Also fair to ask, are you saving her for their last week?
Ireland.
My bad. Oh, it is Ireland. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm a little bit.
No, that I was gonna say that brings up more questions than answers, so I might as well just leave it there. And in that case, unless you guys have anything else, we will move into previewing for week 4 because we've got a lot of business. In week 4, we're going to see Italy take on France first. Scotland will face England, as we've been talking about, and Wales will be seeing Ireland on Sunday. We will note for this preview, we don't have team sheets for Wales or Ireland, which is going to make it a little bit hard, but we've got a little bit of news out of both teams, so we're going to do our best. But first, we're going to look at Italy and France. For me, the teams are out for this match. For me, the Italy team sheet looks a little weird.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Pardon?
Say what you really feel, Hattie.
Say what you really feel, Hattie. Let's go.
I mean,
No, please, because
No, I agree.
I'm curious.
You've had Rugoni, who's just had her best game in probably like a year and a half, and you stuck her on the bench. You've got Scorbini, who's been your player of the tournament, and you've stuck her on the bench.
We were asking friends and loved ones who know ball. We were asking what they think about this, and fairly, some people have
stuck a child in
suggested.
at 9. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean somebody who's really not prepared for Pauline Bordon-Sissoud.
She's in high school.
I think it's a real error to do that, and I think that it is going to really do that player injustice. I actually don't even remember her name. She has a cool, funny name.
I am
look it up,
convinced that they're just like, yeah, whatever. We've lost this game. We're going to target Wales. That's
what I was going to say is that several people that we've asked were like they're chalking this off.
Yeah, and all their focus now is getting that win against Wales. That's the only thing I can think. Like they want to just give players a bit of a rest and they're saving Rugoni for Wales, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
I just don't know why else they would pick that side.
I don't know. I wonder if I don't know. I don't want to come off as as a man-hating gobby lesbian. I don't want to come off like that. But I mean, might their coach be bad at coaching? I don't know. Zebra agreed with me.
To be fair,
they did sack him.
They sacked him for being bad at coaching rugby.
I mean, it's a fair point.
I don't know. That's got to be it.
Has this win gone to his head?
Yeah.
But really, we joke, but it was something that I thought, especially because they really celebrated him for that win. And again, not to take away from the Italy players, I'm not, but I would like to take away from him. I don't think that you masterminded that win. I think I think Scotland played way below their standard.
Yes.
Sorry,
They played,
Scotland.
I
did
hate to
not
say
play
it, but
well.
especially because we're all Scotland fans as well. They did not play well. I don't feel like Italy stomped them, and the scoreline agrees with me. If it is that the coach is like, oh hell yeah, I'm big shit now. Ooh,
And as we've just said,
just
like
wait.
the coaching of that, there was no coaching involved in that win. It was
No.
Rigoni playing
Yes,
her own
Doing
shit.
Rigoni ball. It was Rigoni ball.
So
exactly.
like all he did was play the same back line that every coach ever would play. And
Yes.
now he's
It was
taken
not
the
artful.
key cog out of it.
You know what it reminds me a little bit of? When Wales beat Australia last year.
The first time.
Yeah. Which kind of was like a bit of a fluke. It was more down to Joe Yap kind of not, the Australia had been
They
traveling.
hadn't gelled yet, and just
Joe
like
Yap
their
was
coach
kind
had
of
just gotten there.
He was
Their
trying
coach had just gotten there.
It was all that kind of stuff. I don't know, it just felt like a little bit of a coincidence and a fluke that we won rather than sort of
Yes.
a
Which
massive.
is fair. Looking back at it, and especially looking at the track record, we know that it was a fluke. So that's absolutely fair. And again, like I really want to emphasize this because I'm really not trying to take away from the Italy players. They made magic out of what I feel was very little. And that's on the coach.
Yeah.
So looking forward, I'm not giving him any credit. And to me, that's how this lineup looks.
Yeah. Wild.
So we'll see how that one goes. On the other side of it, France, I'm really, I don't want to ignore them. I'm really not too pressed about France. I think that unless something weird happens, this will be pretty comfortable for France. Don't want to jinx them ever. But
They're gonna have to improve a lot if they're gonna challenge England.
right, the big thing I think France is focusing on, and and I'm sure even France would say like we don't want you to think that like we don't take Italy seriously, but at the same time, they know who their last match is. And they know what they need to do that weekend. And I think that all of us who are really focusing on this closely agree we're looking at England. That's where we want to analyze this one. I don't know how it'll go. I would love Italy to pull out some magic. It's totally possible, is my take. But
France do have some big names back though.
They do.
right, we would be remiss not to mention. Of course, we're thrilled Romain Ménager is back.
They have Vernier back.
And Vernier back, of course.
And they have Grisey back as well.
Yeah, with those three. All right. I forgot Grisey was back too. Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable about my prediction there. Yeah. I forgot Vernier's back.
Was Grisey back last weekend? I don't feel like she was.
No.
I don't think so.
I think she was in the wider squad, but I don't think she played.
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember it.
So much
Moving along.
remember.
Oh, sorry. Moving along, then we will very briefly, just because we've hyped it so much, we really focused on Scotland, and everybody kind of knows what to expect from England. So Scotland facing England, considering the losses that Scotland has in terms of team, the way England's been, I don't think I'm going to tell any listeners anything they're not expecting.
Yes,
does anybody have anything revelatory?
England have picked. They've picked
rather light.
They haven't picked their A team, have they? They've not.
They do. In fairness, the rest of the pieces that they didn't have starting, they do have on the bench, so at least it doesn't look disrespectful.
They have dropped. Why has her name left my brain?
Who are you thinking of?
Who are you thinking of?
Zoe Harrison. They've dropped Zoe Harrison completely, which I thought was really odd because she had 100% kick success last weekend. 7 out of 7. Which has been an issue for England recently.
That's
at 10. Did she start at 10?
Yeah, she started at 10.
Yeah, she did.
Wait, got Holly Aitchison at 10 this weekend, who
the only
she's not as good.
Under pressure.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that, to my mind, and again, loyal women's rugby treehouse heads will remember that I am slightly only a career front rower. But to my mind, the one team that I don't want to be kicking in open play a lot to is Scotland, regardless, considering 11 through 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more like I'm talking kicking at posts.
Oh,
so-
for sure, kick for posts. Well, I think maybe it might also be a little bit of signaling that
I
there is
still-
more
Does it
faith
really
in Holly
matter if
Aitchison.
they only have like 50% of them? No.
No,
I still think she makes mistakes under pressure. I don't think that's gonna. I don't
Holly
think
Aitchison or Zoe Harrison.
Zoe Harrison. She did against
Yes,
Wales.
I agree. I
Oh,
completely agree.
yeah.
I think
I'm
I
not.
have
I'm
lots
not
of
saying
takes on it.
she was dropped for that necessarily,
No.
but she did make a couple of mistakes against Ireland under a little bit of pressure. But yeah,
Then I think like last weekend, Holly came on at 12 and they played really well together at 10 and 12.
they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, which is interesting.
That's a big one. Now
Fun about that actually. It's a
Hmm.
very good point.
So yes, they do have Holly Aitchison starting at 10. We don't have her in the squad at all. Okay.
Hmm.
Maybe she's
Might be something.
doing-
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be something that they don't want to telegraph to people.
I
I'm
think they might just be going for rotation though. Like,
yeah.
That's what I was thinking, preparing for
Yeah.
France.
I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that Emma Singh is not in the team or the. I don't think she's on the bench or anything, is she? I don't think.
no,
Nope.
I'm
No,
really
no.
disappointed.
had benches, Mo Hunt,
No, the
Heather
bench
Rowland,
kind of
and Gaz.
I was gonna say the bench kind of sucks to me. I don't know. I'm not. I don't think anybody on this pod is the hugest May Campbell fan. No, the rest are, I guess.
I would have liked
fine. What you
I would have liked
expect.
to see Emma Singh play. It's looking like she might not play at all this Six Nations, which is a bit of a shame.
She
For who,
started
Emma
the
Singh?
first game.
Oh, she
but
did start the first
She
game.
did.
I forgot. Yeah, I don't know. I just think
She gets
I
a
love
run out against Italy like every other year, and then she goes back in the.
her little box.
Yeah. I'm convinced that she must be like secretly Wales qualified, and they're just like, oh, we must keep
Okay.
her, like.
We fucking wish. Okay, we've looked. I got
They're
the
like, we can't let it
ancestry.com.
lapse.
Look, they've got Ellie Kildan. I get it, right?
Okay.
She's amazing.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm rolling my eyes at the theory, not you.
No, I know.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
No, you're absolutely
I just
right.
find it's just so insane to me that they've got players of that quality.
So,
Like a player like Emma Singh can't get on the side. It's insane.
Same
My
with
first-
Pam though.
Oh yeah, I love Simi Pam.
really, okay. So my thing is like I'm a huge Simi Pan fan. So absolutely, I'm a Bristol Bears fan. Come on. But I will say this. I don't know because I don't care because it's England. But whoever their recruiting is, especially for the pack, especially for the Type 5, is just really, really on it. The depth they have at prop for either prop
Insane.
is just incredible. Because I'm looking at this right now, and on the bench is Hannah Botterman and Maud Muir.
Yeah.
Who do you take out? Who do you take out?
Yeah, I know.
I myself, like, I'm not a huge Kelsey Clifford adherent. She's great. Of course, she's a Red Rose. I don't know that she's the best,
And like they've got
but
Matt Carson's injured.
Yeah.
And like they've still got that depth.
exactly. And yeah, and then the depth of people that aren't even there, including Simi Pam. I will note, just going back to the 10 really quickly, at first I thought like maybe they just didn't deem it that important, but Helena Rowland is on the bench. So that's weird. Yeah, I would honestly, for Zoe Harrison not to be there, I would guess injury. But regardless, I think we know about how that one will probably end up. And that brings us to a big question mark, but with some announcements that people may or may not know if you've been online today. So it brings us to Wales versus Ireland. The first thing I will just note off the top is for Wales fans, we were told this morning via a cool little press hit that Alex Callender is back. She's available for selection. It's fantastic for us. We don't necessarily know where she'll play. She made a weird sentence construction that sounded a little bit like she might play in the backs. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't think that's going to happen, but I love that you psychos do. I love that anybody.
So I don't think so.
I don't think
I
at
really
all.
don't
I think that was just a complete like
I think it was just the way that it was literally just the way that she constructed the sentence, and everyone and back can also mean back as in returned, but
it's just
whatever.
It's so funny.
Well, like, did she mean us back rows? Like,
Yeah, exactly. It could have been anything. Sometimes you just drop a word. She is, by the way, a person. I know that we consider her superhuman, but she is just a person. And
People on Twitter saying, "Oh, she's going to be in the
she's
center."
going to be a 12.
I was
I
like,
know,
Julia
which
Cephas is gonna
first
go.
of all, if that was the case, player at 13, because again, we have Karis Cox. I would love it. I wouldn't love it. I would fucking hate it if Alex Callender went to the centers, but if she has to, please put her in the 13 shirt. Unfortunately, we have a less happy announcement. Today it was announced that Erin King has confirmed done her ACL, which really sucks.
we don't know if it's an ACL, it's a knee injury.
Okay, my bad. I didn't know if it was confirmed or not. My
No,
bad.
I saw knee injury and I just
No, you're right.
took it as
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's
She's
those
out of the
terrible
World Cup.
3 little letters.
She's out of the World
So
Cup. It's a long.
so she's out of the lineup as well. So friend of the pod, sometimes he was the host, now I'll just call him a guest. Friend and guest of the pod, Hugh asks us, with knowing that Alcal is back, where does she slot in? Would she be on the bench? Would she be in the starting 15? And if in the starting 15, who do we remove from, being hardcore Wales fans as we are? We can kind of project what we think an estimated starting 15 would look like, knowing who we have and who we don't have. I'll go first and we'll go around the table. In terms of where I think she goes, I think she probably comes off the bench just because that's injury protocol. I don't think we have any problems in the back row that necessitate rushing her back. And I don't think that we would risk not having her for Italy for the sake of, what I think is probably going to be a very contentious match with Ireland. I don't think that will be easy at all. And if you're targeting a win, for me, I'm targeting Italy. So for me, comes off the bench, and I don't have to answer who she takes the place of. But how about you guys?
Definitely off the bench, I think, for me. I wouldn't risk her starting her. Like it's tempting
No.
to, isn't it? Because we all want her back and we're like, oh,
absolutely. But we don't even need to when Georgia Evans is performing the way she is anyway, is how I feel.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think our seven our flankers and
6, 7, 8.
are playing really well. Yeah. I'm as much as I want her back, I'm also scared of rushing players back from injury as well. And she hasn't
And
a long
of
time.
all times, right now is not the time to risk it.
Exactly.
I feel.
I definitely feel like the bench is the way forward.
Absolutely. Hattie?
I would say completely agree. I think our back row as it is incredibly well balanced. And I think, obviously Sean Lynn really, really likes the combination of Kate Williams and Bethan Lewis. That was his combination at Gloucester Hartpury, and he's carried that on. And then he's picked Georgia Evans, and something I've kind of realized is that he had other options to stick in at 8.
He's really backed her. She
really,
said
really
it herself.
her.
She said it herself in her interview this morning that she has gotten the message from him that he is all in on her, which is awesome.
And I think part of that reason is he likes an athletic 8. He
absolutely.
I
think from GH, absolutely.
Yeah, he likes Alex Matthews at 8.
And
like the fittest member of the team or something. Seriously, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
The levels that she's playing,
the work rate
at 80 minutes, and it was the same against England.
Yeah, the numbers she's putting up
against France. It's honestly, like, I don't think I've always thought highly of her, but her fitness levels are off the scale.
The role that he wants his number 8 to fit is very specific.
Really suits her.
He wants them to have a really, really high work rate, and it's really, really high tackles, super, super quick, everything like that. He wants them to carry hard, but it's not that like big, bulky, like Billy Vanapola style.
I was gonna say we also don't want slow or large breakdowns. He also likes to have a lighter breakdown that is more agile and that can go from phase to phase, which I think really suits Georgia. I think that it comes from the series play, which really complements that kind of 8. I think Georgia has felt I think that she's the kind of player who really thrives when she feels that somebody has confidence in what she can do. And I think probably Linny unleashed that. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. So I think as it stands, that back three is really, really balanced. And I think,
Absolutely.
as you've said, like Alcal at the moment, to risk her like starting her is not worth it. Keeping her on the bench, at least for this match, is a really good idea. But I think in terms of who she comes on for is really, really obvious for me. And she would come on for Bethan Lewis. Bethan Lewis
Yes.
very, very rarely plays a full game. She usually is swapped off after about 60 minutes for Gloucester Hartpury. It's
Which would
usually
be
for Georgia
perfect.
Brock at Gloucester. And usually for Wales over the last couple of games, it's been for Bryony King. And then usually they've had to do a reshuffle on the back line in the back row. And it's caused a couple of issues, I think.
Oh, that's right, because I think Bryony's been going to 8, isn't she?
Yeah, Bryony's been
That's
going to
what I
8.
was going to ask is do we think with so we can still answer the Hugh question actually. Do we think that Alcal being back bumps Bryony off the bench?
I don't think so. I think Bryony would still stay on. And I think Bryony would go into the second row because she's still
Okay.
often
Yeah.
plays as
Covers
that hybrid.
covers a few of the positions, doesn't she?
I
Yeah,
was going to say it depends on if Natalia John is also back, but absolutely.
yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if she stays on and covers second row
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
and
Probably
back row
allow,
because
yeah.
I know she did it at Bears a couple of times. She's done it, I think, at Gwalior, and she's done it for Wales as well.
Absolutely.
She's played second row, so and
Depends
she's
if-
tall enough.
if
So
Allow-
Oh yeah, she's fine.
I guess it also depends if Allow starts.
yeah,
That's what
like
well, and
whoever
so
it
yeah,
is, whether it's
I should have specified. I am talking assuming that Allow starts. My
yeah,
bad.
like if Allow's on the bench or if Gwen's on the bench, like whoever it is
Right.
at 19,
Those are
and
the
then
rotation, yeah.
yeah, I'm assuming it's a 6-2 bench.
I really
Yeah.
I-
No, I mean understandable, but like all the evidence so far
Yeah.
indicates.
I'm assuming if it is a 6-2 bench, I'm assuming we have like either Allow or Gwen on the bench, then Bryony, and then Alcal.
Yeah.
Bryony gives you that option to either have her in the back row or in
I was going
the
to say
second
3
row.
of the 4 allow you for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you would then have Alcal slip into 7, and have Bethan Lewis come off. And I
Which
think
is fine. And I
that's a
rarely
good
say
spot.
this. I rarely say this, but like with that plan, no, I guess not. It sucks though. It there's no room for Alicia Butchers. We have no idea what's going on. Clearly not going to play for the rest of the tournament.
I
But
honestly think though, like we've had this problem kind of similar before.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you remember, like 2, 3 years ago, where again when we like didn't have too many injury problems, like you had Alicia, you had Alcal, you had Bethan Lewis, you had
absolutely.
Shonette,
Georgia.
you had Shuan, like they were all of Georgia, like you had all of these players fighting for these positions. Like we've got such depth in our back row.
It's so much
It's
so
an
that we
excellent
made most of
problem
them
to have.
crossovers with second row.
We need to stop having back
Crossovers.
rowers.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, and we keep producing them as well.
Well, but the thing is, there's a difference between being able to do it and having to do it. Because ideally, you would like all of your players to be specialists of their position. In an ideal world, like like the Red Roses at this point, Marley Packer can play on the flank, but you want her at 8.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, Zoe Aldrop can 6 or 7, but like why? Ideally, we would like to be there too. And I was just thinking about the number 6, and I was like, ideally, I would like Alicia at 6.
I still think Alicia and Alcal are the best 2 flanks.
I agree, but I agree, but also just from the evidence that we're having now over this tournament, I also agree with Hattie. If you are to make, and see, that's the thing is, I don't like that it doesn't include Beth Lou.
I know this is
no, the thing is, like,
It's hard.
It's really
my
hard.
issue has always been like I do think that like if you were to pick just like our best back rowers on merit, it would probably be like of all time, not necessarily in form right now, it would probably be Alicia, Alcal, and Beth Lou.
Yeah.
If they were all
Georgia.
in form. However,
Georgia. I would put Georgia at 8.
I think, yeah,
they
Georgia.
don't balance each other out well.
Georgia and Alicia play so well together.
Yeah,
They don't balance each other out well. And
Yeah,
so
fair. No, that's fair.
so it's really hard. And that's why I'm like, this is why I love the back row combination that we have. And I think Beth Lou and Al Cow swap each other out quite well. They have very different energies, but they kind of do
The
similar
play I was
roles.
gonna say the play style is not too different.
Is not too different.
Yeah.
And I think swapping Al Cow in is quite a nice swap and brings the energy up.
Yeah,
I think,
that's gonna be a huge
yeah,
boost. It's gonna be that energy boost.
yeah, like Kate Willie, Al Cow, George Evans, that is a monster back row.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And like that I'm excited for. But then if I think about that, I'm like, I don't know, like Alicia Joyce Butchers sticking her in. Her and Kate Williams is kind of different players, so I don't.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the
that then
most
doesn't
I
work.
think that's
Then
one
I'm
of the
like,
most
well, her and
disparate
Georgia are
pairings.
different players, so then you can't. It's not a direct swap. So like, the balance isn't quite there.
I know what you're saying. I think it's like when they've played Georgia in the second row, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the
Exactly.
same
That's
like
what I
with
was thinking.
centers as
They
well. Like
won
you
the
can have
final
two excellent
together.
centers, and they don't
It's just
work
different
together.
energy.
And she's brilliant.
What
She's not, I don't know. I prefer
when you
Bank or
exactly
it's like
when you play a paired position, generally, even if it's, yes, absolutely, even all paired positions, wing, second row, prop, flanker, all of those, yes, both of them do slightly different things. Usually you want them to be complementary. You don't want them to either play too similar to each other or to be completely disparate.
and again, this is the thing with a few positions, I think, in halfback,
Yes.
centers.
I was just going to say, at the same time, like, it's also what we've been clamoring for. So you can't really complain that much that we have we have two complete back rows that if you needed to slot in, you'd be okay.
Mm.
The only problem is having them all fit at the same time. So with that,
Great question, Hugh. Thanks.
yeah, thank you, Hugh. So looking forward, let's this one's going to be a little harder, but let's get score predictions in just as a nice little buffer, and then we will round it up with some other rugby business. How are we feeling? Score predictions, should we do all three matches at once, or should we go match by match? Let's do one. Yeah, let's do that. All right. I'll start us off then, just because I'm looking at all of the matchups. Let's see. For Italy, France, I'm going to say France is going to take it. I'm going to say 35-5. For England, Scotland, damn, this one is harder now knowing all the injuries. I'm gonna say England is gonna take it. Scotland 5 again. England 55. And for Wales, Ireland, I am so sorry. I do think Ireland is going to win, not by a ton. I'm gonna say Wales 10, Ireland 15.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I am wrong about it every single time. So I'm like, every week I feel a little bit less bad because I'm just so wrong all the time.
I'm terrible at this.
Great.
Really
Great.
bad.
Then Sean's next.
I'll go next and give my terrible
Wonderful. We're all wrong.
Here
We're
we
women.
go.
We're not good at math. We're not women of math.
I'm just gobby. I think France will win. I really can't. I find this one really hard.
This one's really hard. After Italy's
It's so
performances,
hard
I know.
Exactly. In both teams, you just don't know what kind of teams are going to turn up. I think probably about 35-40 to France. I think Italy might score about 10 or 15 if they play like they did last week.
I was also going to say, I neglected to consider this when I gave my score. This is my own bad, but they are playing in Italy.
Yeah,
which does count. Which does count.
Maybe a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think you're more on the money than I was. I think I was a little off.
I know, I'm terrible at this, remember. Scotland and England, I think England are going to score at least 50, possibly more. Um, yeah, Scotland do have some when they can run the ball, can't they? So I could either see them actually scoring a couple of tries like Wales did, or nothing at all. So let's say 10. Um, Wales, I think Ireland are gonna score a few. I think it's gonna be like something 30 odd 10.
I could see that
Anyway,
also. The only
I love you, Wales. You know I do, and I'll be there. I'll cheer
absolutely.
you on. But yeah, I think
I was gonna say the only upside is that we are playing. Are we playing a Dave Parade?
we are
Yeah.
playing a day parade.
There
I
you
have to
go.
go to Newport for
And
it.
you're making Sean hike to Newport.
Yeah, I've got my jabs. It's fine. Hattie, what about you? I apologize for the people in Newport.
That was fantastic. Sorry.
It's so hard, isn't it? It's really
Yeah. Do you know what? Think if it had been the same Italy starting 15 as last week, I would be much more complimentary. But it's not.
No.
Um, so I don't know what they're gonna do. Um, I'm gonna say like,
France could just decide that they're gonna like
yeah, they could,
60, couldn't they? You know, they
yeah.
or they could be like
And like
10
I
points.
feel like normally France play Italy right at the beginning of the tournament, not at the end. So usually France
Yeah.
look shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
fair.
have no idea.
That's
I'm
really
gonna
hard.
say like 40, and they're kicking well, so I'm gonna say like 49.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Because they've got a good back line.
Yeah.
Vernier's back.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 49, 10.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna say, yeah, 'cause I'm just gonna think that Ragoni's gonna come off the bench, she's gonna be really pissed. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Scotland, England. Scotland historically don't play well against England, and they're playing in
In
Leicester,
England.
and England historically play well in Leicester.
It's in York, unfortunately.
No, it's in
Mm.
Leicester.
Yeah, they play rubbish in York.
Yeah, they play
It's
rubbish
Leicester.
football, but they're playing in Leicester. So
She's
yeah,
not listening. She's not
he's not
listening to
listening to
us.
me,
They're
but
playing in Leicester, Sean.
No, you said.
Oh, not York.
I know, I was saying it's a shame they're not playing in
Oh,
York.
okay.
oh,
I was
that's
like,
just a
oh
shame they're
my
not playing
God,
York. Oh, right, okay.
Is there a York in Leicester?
Oh yeah, it is a shame they're not playing
They
in York.
crap in York, and I was like, oh no, why can't they play York in all their games? Sorry,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you too.
Fair.
Maybe not, but you know.
All right. All right, Hattie, give us the damage. Wales,
Uh,
Ireland.
I don't want to say nil.
You're
So
gonna
like
say nil, aren't you?
65, but like I won't be surprised.
65.
Yeah, for England now. You're talking.
Yeah,
No,
I
she's
think
talking Wales, Ireland. Oh,
No, I
no.
think
okay.
no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
okay. Sorry, I thought you were already giving. Okay, 65 to what? No?
No, like 65, but it
Oh,
might be.
65.
I
Gotcha.
wouldn't be surprised if Scotland nilled. Sorry, Leslie, I
Yeah.
really do apologise.
We're basing this off of what you told us. We love you.
We love you
We
dearly,
love you. We know.
but like
All right. All right, then give us the other damage, Wales, Ireland.
I might just jump out of a window instead of watching the game.
Yeah, we might just not.
Yeah, I might just not pretend it didn't happen.
You're gonna have to. I am going to
But I'm
text
going to
you.
wear a blindfold.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Um,
Sean is gonna be there and I'm gonna be in your phone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear a blindfold. It's fine. I won't know what's going on.
Yeah. Do you know what? It could either be a bloodbath or it could be really close.
Could be really close.
And I
Which
don't
one?
know.
My concern is Wales's defense has been a little bit leaky. So I think
Yeah.
that's I think we could
We really need to see that forward back.
I think we compete well with teams actually in periods, but I'm just concerned that we'll just leak tries.
But our set piece is significantly better.
That's where I'm coming
Because
from.
our line out
It
was
all
a
depends
bit
on who's doing the
leaky.
set pieces. That's how I feel.
I actually looked, it's not that bad, and our scrum is actually very good.
Our scrums are going well because of Jenny Scones.
Yeah, James
James
Jones is
Guns.
doing it. And Ireland is not good. I don't fuck it, like I don't know, like 24 to 20, and we're all going to be really upset about it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yes, that's a great.
Hell yeah. That'll be
I
fun.
really hope
All right.
that's gonna
I'm
happen.
in then. Yeah. Then I'm in.
Mm.
All right. Fantastic. I'm stoked for that then. And that brings us to some people's favorite
And we
segment,
finally
surely.
get a backs try.
Oh,
And we're going to get a back stride that is allowed.
please.
We're going to
all
get
I-
back stride. And it's allowed. All right, rugby lovers. If you are a lover of rugby, I have some any other business for you. This past week, we have been seeing a lot of women's rugby all over the world, which is awesome. First off, we had the historic Super Rugby Opiki and Super Rugby W. They had their first cross the ditch match. Ended up with Super Rugby Opiki's Blues taking the win over Super W's Waratahs. It was a historic event. Everybody said that it was a really great match. On the NZR Plus, I feel really bad. It was at 3 a.m. my time, first of all. I think NZR Plus is a website / app, but that is where the game will be. I was asking some pals. We didn't see the replay up yet, but the replay should be there. Definitely check that out. And speaking of really good matches that you should watch the replay for, Spain retained the Rugby Europe Championship title after another dominant showing against their perennial rivals, Netherlands. They play each other a lot. They are constantly battling for that title. Spain ended up taking it, even though beloved captain and beloved player of the pod, Laura Bimba Delgado, was out injured, still took it. Fantastic match. A competition that I haven't gotten to cover before, but I'm really excited to bring you guys. Rugby Africa's Women's Cup Division 1 is in full swing right now. We're in the second week. I should have covered the first week, my bad. But in the second week, we had Uganda nilling Cote d'Ivoire 52-0, and Tunisia defeated Zimbabwe in a very dramatic heartbreaker. You should check that out, 27-24. It's a fantastic sign for Tunisia, which is a really young program. You can catch those matches on Rugby Africa's Facebook page. Finally, for my own benefit, and I've brought Hattie and Sean into my madness, we've got Women's Elite Rugby here in America. It's a light weekend this weekend coming up. Just the one match on April 19th. The Boston Banshees face the New York Exiles in a rematch. They've already played each other once this season. Go Exiles. I'm allowed to say it's my podcast. That match is live and free on the DAZN app, which we all love the name of and don't think is stupid. That's DAZN. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern here in America and 7 p.m. UK time. All right. And the final one, I'm going to bring everybody back in. We've been very fortunate. We've been seeing some familiar names. We think we might have some parents of the pod, parents of the players. Want to say hey to them. Thank you so much for listening. If you're out there, if you could drop us a comment or say hey to us on socials, we would love to know if you're checking it out, and definitely if you're making it all the way to the end of the Yap Sesh. Thank you so much. Any other business from the Peanut Gallery?
We are your favorite players' parents' favorite podcast.
We are going to make that the tagline. We're shopping it. We want to see what you think. If you are a parent, confirm that we're your favorites. It would mean a lot to us because our parents don't tell us that we're their favorites. So if we're your favorites, it would mean a lot.
Which is unfortunate because I'm an only child, so.
You would think that Hattie's parents would say this more, but instead they don't even get her an Easter egg.
No, they prefer the dead dog.
Whoa.
I don't think my parents ever gave us Easter eggs. We had them off my nan.
Okay, Nan, favorite parent.
Yeah, my nan was. Yeah, that's true.
For me, just like being American is weird, I'm Jewish, which is also weird. So no Easter egg for me, no Pesach egg for me. I buy them myself and eat them in the dark.
Fair.
So thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you are
I do have a bit of any other
please.
business.
Let's go.
We had the Under 18 Six Nations Festival.
Oh my
did.
goodness.
Yeah.
Please shortly recap. We do have a bit of time. We've been good today.
Yeah, we didn't yap too much. Very quickly, Wales, we didn't score any tries, but we didn't concede
score
any
any points.
tries.
But neither did they.
We didn't score any points. So I think
But
it was
neither did they.
But neither did
0-0
they.
against England and 0-0 against was it Italy?
Baby, that's coaching.
Yeah.
Sian, that's
saw the
coaching,
England game.
baby.
I watched the England game on YouTube.
I watched both
I am
games.
Yeah,
so excited about the talent coming through.
that's what I was going to ask. What do you guys think now that you've seen that talent come through?
So obviously we are big fans of Cecilia Turpolotti.
Yes.
Her
We got news for you.
her younger sister, I believe her name is pronounced Topher.
But yes, I
Topher
think
Turpolotti. She so the way that the festival worked, because it was over the sort of like long weekend, is that they played there was like each country had like two 15s, if that makes any sense, and they each 15 played like a 35-minute half.
Exactly.
So it meant that like they could play two countries each over the weekend. And so actually, well, they played a couple of games each, basically. It just meant they got to play more people. And so yeah, I got to watch Topher play, and she was the hooker for one of the teams, and she was incredible.
she was.
She did play, like, obviously there was like familial similarities in that she was a big ball carrier like her sister, big hitter like her sister.
Yep.
Such a good,
Extremely
and
strong.
that's such great news because literally
But-
the two is where we were worrying about for depth for Wales. But go on,
Yeah.
sorry.
But yeah, there's a but.
She is quick.
He is rapid.
You don't say. You don't say. Front rowers that seem like they could be centers, you don't say.
But
So-
for any of our like male fans of like Welsh men's rugby, anybody who's a like fan of that, if you remember peak Tulupe Faletau, obviously
That is what I've been
cousin.
hearing across the board. That name has been bandied about a lot for
That
her.
is what she reminds me of so much. Obviously they're related, but like it was just like I was watching her and I was like, that is exactly who she reminds me of. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
Which is such
100%.
good news for Wales.
And that
for
is
Wales
a lovely
senior.
compliment to give somebody.
Agreed.
He was just bouncing people off.
I think the
I'm-
All Black played well though, didn't they? They
Yeah.
were just,
The future is really bright. I think that the one thing that WRU has been doing right is that they got Shuey and Snowy in. And it's I mean, actually, you know, to wrap that up, actually, congratulations to Cardiff Met
And
for
got
winning
it.
Bucks.
Yeah.
First, I believe it was the
Good
first Welsh team to win
First Welsh team.
Bucks since it's
To win.
become Super
And
Rugby.
whatever it's called, the Milk Championship, which I'm excited
I was
about, which I'm
confused.
completely
Did you see
obsessed
the
with.
like branding, like the pads and everything?
Yeah, I think, but see, so I understand that it like is the name of an official something, but for me, I like to believe that you were just like, we need to tell the Welsh people about milk. And I was like, you do.
My nan used to be on the milk board, like the Welsh milk board.
The milk board.
Oh,
All of you have quaint ass stories like this. I don't know if maybe I don't know if it is a Welsh thing or if it's just an everybody but the Welsh thing. Is it like I don't have any stories about my oma being on the pork board? Like no.
Well, no, she wouldn't be, would she?
sorry. That's hilarious.
No, that killed me. You're right.
It's just not that fair, dude.
Folks,
That's so funny.
Folks, this has nominally been a rugby podcast. Between all of the other shit, we did talk about rugby. Thank you so
Hope you enjoyed it.
I think, listen, what we're hearing from the people who still talk to us, they say they love it.
All three of them.
I was going to say most canceled podcast
and the
that
parent.
you can't cancel because no one pays us. So with that said, if you would like to sponsor us, if you're a parent of a player who needs sponsorship or perhaps would just like to be our friends, let us know. Otherwise, thank you so much for sticking with us. We will be back next week for a final wrap up and preview. We will also be putting together some programming heading into the warm-up matches for the World Cup. A lot to come. We're really excited. And if you are a woman and a fan of women's rugby and would like to come and discuss your team, let me know. Drop us a comment on socials, on the YouTube. We would love to hear from fans of different teams, ex-players, current players. Please let us know. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to talk to you again next week. See you then. Bye.
That was Hurrah, the Welsh Women's Rugby Appreciation Podcast. Please rate, review and share us on socials if you can, and join us again next week for more of the same. Until then, enjoy your rugby.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.